Are you wondering how to write a project manager resume? Or perhaps you're looking for an optimized project management CV template? Well, either way, you've come to the right place because today I'm going to be walking you through everything you need to kind of include and also some tips and suggestions to ensure that your CV actually gets picked up when it comes to your applications and to ensure that you put yourself in the best very position of actually getting that job. So as you can see, I've got the CV in front of us here. I've built this ahead of recording, and I will make this template readily available for download. There'll be a link in the description below where you can download this template. It will be less than a cup of coffee, but I just wanted to offer you the ability to get this template very, very quickly, so you didn't need to go through the building process. I am going to be showing you exactly how I built this because I feel like this is a skill that you may want to take on from this particular video. And I'm also going to be walking you through how I got to some of the various different elements and the suggestions for text and things like that to ensure, as I say, you put yourself in the best position for getting that role. So as I say, if you want that template, link in the description, and it won't cost you that much, but it does support the channel, so I would appreciate it as well. But with that said, this is the template that we're going to be building. And I just wanted to kind of mention before we get into the actual building process that the idea is that this template it's a combination of both being very, very effective in terms of it's got a lot of keywords and a lot of important bits of information in here that will help ensure your CV gets picked up. And secondly, which I think differentiates this from many other templates I've seen online, is there's an element of it's quite visual as well. So if you do get through to the process of a kind of manual review by an actual person, they'll start seeing little things in here which make it a little bit interesting. Obviously, it's always hard. You don't want to go above and beyond on a CV. The most important thing is getting that information in front of them. But we do have a few kind of graphic elements here, which, to be honest, I just think are just quite nice. So let's go ahead and build this. So, of course, the first thing you need to do is open a brand new Word document. You could create this in Pages, or you could create this in another word processor, but chances are you will be using Word, and I would recommend it for various different reasons, but I'm not going to go into what you should build it in. I'm just going to go ahead and actually build this for you. Again, this is a template. You can adapt this to your needs, so it's completely up to you, but this is what I would recommend that you do. So first and foremost, I would head to the layout button on the ribbon at the top, and I would change the margin to narrow. And what that essentially does is it just expands the content area out. And what that will do is it will just help you get more information on one page. And that's what you want to do. You want to keep essentially, you want to get as much information on one page as possible. 2 pages is the absolute tops. I wouldn't really recommend going more than 2 pages because your potential recruiters are going to look at that and they're going to feel overwhelmed and they're not going to get through it. CVs are scanned, and yeah, you want to keep them as brief as possible. Also, if they print it out on double side, then it's just going to need an extra copy of paper, and they're just, as I say, it's just going to get lost or whatever. It's just not optimized. So I like to use the header to get your name in. So to access that, you want to click on the insert part of the ribbon, and then you want to click header. Now I'm just going to select, you've got various different options here if you did want to include some color, which is quite nice, but I like to go with the plain one, okay? And what you want to put in here is your name. So name and surname, that's what we're going to suggest here. I'm going to then go to home, and we're going to bold this, and we're going to expand this out. So I recommend something between 36 and 40. I'll put 40 here. So we've got this in here. Now, one thing before I actually go on, I should discuss the font, because the font is very, very important. You want it to be legible. You want it to be easy to consume. I wouldn't recommend going for anything too fancy because you want this to be easy to read. So I like something, this one's quite nice. But yeah, as I say, keep it, don't spend too much time on this, but also bear in mind that you want it to be legible. Next thing, I like doing this at the top. You don't have to do this, but you can go insert, and then you can go, if you go on shapes, you can put a nice line in here that just differentiates your kind of name from the rest of the CV, or resume, I should say. CV being, you can probably tell by my accent, I'm British, we call it a CV here. So if you're looking for a CV, this is video is for you, but this is also a resume, it's the same thing. I like to put this in a nice grey. I think that's quite a professional colour. And then from here, and you may have noticed this on the template itself, I actually use a couple of different, so if you click on, where is it? Sorry, insert. If you click the insert, it comes under icons, and I quite like these. I think these are just quite nice. So what you can do is if you type in phone as an example, you can get little icons, and then you can build with captions the information about it. So the first thing I would actually do is a location. So if you search location, all of these different options come up. Now I suggest this one because it kind of implies this is where you are if you like, but you could also do kind of a little globe, especially if you're applying for a global position, or you could do something like a house or even, you know, a block like this. But I'm going to suggest you use this one. This is the one that will be on the template. The next thing you need to do is you want to wrap this and you want to put in front of text. Now I'm going to make this smaller, drag this up to the top, right click, and then we're going to go insert caption. Now press OK. Now here you want to put where you're based. So this is your location. So this could be your city you're in, or it could be a town as well. But I would suggest this be the kind of main city that you're applying for the role in, or that you will have access to. So I'm going to put London just for the purpose of this demo, but that's obviously not going to be included on the template itself if you do proceed to get that. So that's the first icon. Next, we want to go insert, we want to go icons, and we want to go, so we've got name, we're going to have phone. Now you've got a couple of options here. I like this one, but again, completely up to you. Same process. So we're going to drag this. We're going to want to put that like that. We're going to right click this, wrap text. We're going to put in front of text. And let's move those around, isn't it? So I just need to, what's happened there? Wrap text, in front of text, not quite sure what happened there, but we'll just quickly put that back. Again, one thing I should mention is I'm just showing you the process of building this. It's not going to be optimized necessarily in this particular video. There is the template for that, but this is the general process of building according to what I think kind of works really well. Again, we need to click insert caption, press OK, and here just put your number in. So I'll just do this for now because that's a common dialing code for the States, I believe. So we'll put that like that. Insert, we're going to put another icon, sorry. This time we're going to have our email. So you can literally search for email. You've got a couple of different options here. This one's actually quite nice, but I think this one suggests more of an email. So let's put this. Again, we just need to right click, wrap text, in front of text. The other option for this, you don't have to do this. You could literally just put a text box in and put all of your information in. But as I say, I think these little final touches just show an element of creativity. And I think, you know, if you're neck and neck with somebody who is just submitting, you know, you've got the same almost the same qualification, same background, it's these final little touches that can make all the difference. So why not do it? And yeah, this may be a little bit of faff to set up first and foremost. But at the same time, you know, it's hopefully a one-time exercise, or at least this part will be. You know, you may need to alter your CV for other positions that you apply for, but you know, this essential top bit shouldn't take too long, and you only do that once. I next put social, so this is going to be something like LinkedIn. You could, if you wanted to, copy a little LinkedIn logo from online, but for the purpose of this template, I'm going to suggest this one, and this obviously suggests a little network. So right click here, we're going to wrap text in front of text, and we're just going to put this up here. So I don't know if you're still kind of watching this or you've skipped ahead, but you'll notice that the process is the same. Insert the icon, we're then wrapping it in front of text, and then we're adding a caption to just add the information. And I'm just going to put that, and then we could put here linkedin.com/ and then you put your profile URL, and then you can just expand this out. So that's the kind of main topic area at the top. Next, we need to introduce, I need to get off, there we go. We need to introduce our kind of high level summary. And when it comes to writing your CV, this is obviously very, very crucial. I should say resume. So insert, we want to put about, or you could put summary. Other people I've seen put summary here. You could put about or summary. Either way, it's the same kind of idea. You want a kind of high level overview of who you are, what you've been doing, and why you're kind of appropriate for this position. Now, what I like to do here is I like to add borders. So we're going to put a top border and we're going to put a bottom border. So to get there, the way I did that was we're on the home ribbon, and then in this kind of area here, I clicked this and went bottom, and then I did top. I did that separately. I then like to bold this, and I probably make this a couple bits bigger, maybe that a 12, and then I'm going to move this into the center. So now it comes to actually writing this. So we need to click roughly around here. Need to get down here. There we go. And now we just need to write a high level overview. So what I would suggest you do is you need to think of some of the keywords here. So as an example, I would put something like your level of experience. So obviously this is going to depend on the position you're going for, but if you can get words like seasoned in there, it really does show that you are kind of, you've done this before, and you are, you know, you have experience. It's words like this that you really need to focus on when writing your CV. So seasoned project manager with over, you could put your number of, you know, years of service in here and put the word experience in. And then you want to do something like discuss exactly the kind of projects that you've been working on. So it could be finance projects, it could be construction projects. So this is where I'd put perhaps the industry. In the template, I've put complex, which again is another good word to put in. And then you could put something like across, you know, different sectors, or I'll put diverse sectors. Then you can put things in like proven track record. You know, it's these kind of key terms that are just showing that you're capable and that you've managed these kind of projects before. And then you want to put in kind of other kind of keywords like efficiencies, in driving efficiencies, managing teams, delivering projects on time. You know, these kind of really important concepts that employers will be looking at, and within budget. So, you know, what more can you want from a project manager? That you're on time and you're within budget. That is, you know, that's one of the best things that you can do. You want to perhaps mention the types of project management methodology you're aware of, familiar with, and have been using. So expertise in waterfall project management methodology. You want to mention perhaps that you've worked with various different stakeholders. Say stakeholder management, let's put here. But hopefully you're getting the idea. Ability to work to tight deadlines, innovate in fast-moving environments. You get the idea here. You could go on there. There's lots of different kind of there's a lot of information online to kind of enhance and refine this further. Perhaps you already know what you want to include here. What I'd actually suggest you do at this point is actually have a sentence or two which is showing what you're showing your employer what you're looking for and why you should be a standout candidate. So I'd use terms like excited. So now I'm excited to apply these skills to a new project management position. And then you could actually put at, and this is really good, and then put here the company that you're applying to, because it shows that you really want to work for them, and it shows you spent the time and effort to kind of alter your CV for that company, which I think is, you know, if someone was applying for my company and showed that they're excited to work for my company, I'd be really impressed with that, because a lot of CVs are very kind of blanket, you know, sent to every employer under the sun. This just, yeah, as I say, it's just another way to differentiate yourself if you get through that first review process. You could put something like, you know, a quick sentence on why you want to work for that company. You know, it could be something like your focus on your environmental impact is something that I am passionate about. You know, those kind of things. You could put a little sentence in there that shows why you've applied for that position specifically and why that particular organisation. So I would put that in here. You could even bold it. You could even put it in italic, that whole section. Again, it's just a little way to differentiate yourself. Next, we're going to put in an area called, so hold on a second. I need to actually alter this. You want a consistent, font. Sorry, I lost the word there. Font throughout the whole CV. So I've just updated that to what we have for our name section. But as you can see, it's very, very clear, easy to read, and it also looks professional. So next we want to have, and what I'm going to do here is press Control C and Control V. And as you'll see, it's just copied that whole section. We just want to put in here key, oh, if I do that, it will keep it. So key skills and areas of expertise. So what I did there is I just pressed the backspace at the end just to ensure it kept the formatting. Click down here. Now what I like to do here, you've got various different options. You could have a bulleted list, you could have a table, so you could have a 3-column table and then remove the lines so it kind of looks like a, you know, say 3 bullets there, 3 bullets there, 3 bullets there. That's what I've seen on a lot of templates. But what I quite like to do is go with this kind of shape concept again. So insert, and then what I'd like to do is choose a shape depending on the specific skill or area of expertise you want to demonstrate. But before we do that, I think it's important that I'll show you this. So as an example, I've loaded up a particular job that's being advertised on LinkedIn. So this is about the job, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of this information. I'm going to copy this bit here as well. Make sure you get the area that says qualifications and experience. Control C. Now I've already loaded up ChatGPT. If you haven't got it already, then you can get access to ChatGPT for free. I will leave a link in the description down below. And this actually can be useful for creating other areas of your CV. At least giving you an idea. I would update them. Anything you get out of ChatGPT might sound a bit robotic, so you should kind of update it and read it closely. But yeah, there'll be a link in the description below to get access to ChatGPT, and you probably will need to use a 3.5 model. I'm using the 4 model because I am on the paid plan, so do bear that in mind. But what we've got here is a prompt, okay? If you read this, so I've logged in on my account. Extract the key skills and areas of expertise from this information for a CV from this job listing. Create 10 bullet points. Exclude company names. Make sure each bullet point categorizes the key skill required within 1 to 3 words. Okay, press Control and V. And what I've done is I've literally just copied and pasted all that in here. If we hit this button, what it's going to do is it's going to pull out the kind of keywords that would help you kind of get screened for this particular job. And what I like about it is it includes a sentence after each one. Now you could include that, and I would suggest you probably do, but you could also just put these key terms. And this is something you could perhaps include at the top. So when I mentioned earlier about I'm excited to apply these skills to a new product position, that you could put due to your sustainability and renewable energy focus as an example. If we're applying for this particular job, you get the idea. So what we could then do is copy and paste all of this in, or we could say rewrite the above, because remember space is in half the words. Space is of a premium on a CV. I don't know, I didn't like that. So we'll go again. So here we go. This is what we're going to include for now. If you've got a lot of skills you want to pull out, I've chosen 10. But what you could do here is press Control C, and it goes back to creating that table. So what you'd do is you'd go Insert Table, and you could do something like this. And then you could put each skill in each one, and then you can hide, as I say, the grid lines. But I'm not going to do that for now. I'm just going to copy and paste this in. And on the template, and as I've mentioned before, I mean, you could use bullet points like I have here, or you could use shapes, and I will show you that in a minute. But I would go ahead and I'd bold these, and you don't necessarily have to see. I'd actually remove that probably, because that's not a skill or an area of expertise unless you can demonstrate that. You could remove this sentence after. You know, a lot of CVs I've seen just have a list of the skills, and this is when you might want to put them in boxes. Now, I kind of mentioned, and you get this in the template if you were to proceed to buy it. If you go insert icon, you can find little icons which I think are just kind of make this really kind of visually appealing. So this is an example. Again, we want to wrap this in front of text. And what you could then essentially do is just go through each one and just put this at the front. And I just think that makes it look really, really nice. And again, makes it stand out a little bit. You could, so this one, what I'd suggest you do if you do opt for this approach is when it comes to the shapes, think about this text here and what it's trying to say. So when we go into the icons area, search for systems, search for tools, those kind of things, and we'll see what comes up. So system, we want an image that suggests a system. So it could be something like that. Tool, it could be something like, that's more construction based. Project, platform, you get the idea. Software, these are the kind of things you want to search for, if I can spell correctly. Okay, there's nothing in software. But as I say, in the template, you're going to get loads of suggestions here. But for the purpose of time, I'm going to leave this as a bullet point. Let's go to the next area. So I've selected this, Control C, space, space, Control V. We don't want that there, and we want that centered. And I'm actually going to do that. Control V. Right, sorry, there we go. I need this. There we go. What that was doing is it was picking up the formatting from above. Okay, so now we need an area for work experience. I've done that again. Let's go here. Work experience. Okay, so what we want to do here is we want to give an overview of exactly what we've done in the past, who we worked for, when, and you want to pull out, again, some key terms that will help your CV stand out and also get through the screening process. So the first thing I suggest is you have a job role. So this is the name of your role. So it could just be project manager. It could be, you know, you could have worked in a PMO. It could be program manager. It could be project coordinator. You get the idea. It's any, you know, the exact job role that you had at your company. I'll put project manager in now. Then you want to put underneath the organisation you work for. And I actually like to put this in a bit of a smaller text. This one here. So let's do that. And I also like to put the years I worked in on the right hand side. So I've clicked on this cell here. I'm pressing tab, 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 tab. And I'm going to put the years active. So let's just say 2021 to 2023. That's the years you're in that position. Again, I like to make this a bit smaller. I don't know why. I think it just looks a bit neater. From under here, I would then go on and give a brief summary, a really high-level summary of exactly what you did, and try to do it in a way that demonstrates your value to the organisation you work for. So as an example, became a central figure in the release of a new project management tracking tool. Strategically improved the tool adoption from initial design to launch. It's just an idea, okay? It's just an example, but that's what you want to do. You want to kind of really think about all of your roles and responsibilities and just try and amalgamate them into a 1 or 2 sentence high-level overview. From there, I would go in and provide some kind of key action points to what you did. So here you could say something like project manager for the, and then you could put the name of the project, and supported the implementation of, and then you could say kind of what the project aimed to do. So a high level summary of what the project was all about, or your main projects. Chances are you may be working on multiple different projects. Maybe pull out the most significant one, the one that had the most impact. You get the idea. Now you want to discuss your true value. So what did you actually do? So equipped the, and then you can put the organization in here, with new processes that, and then put your objectives. So, you know, you equip the organization with new processes that sped up the delivery of said project 3 times or something like that. Now, the final bit I'd recommend is, the kind of tangible benefits. And if you can, you want to quantify them. And that just shows, that's a lot more effective at displaying your value. It's easier to scan, it's easier to understand, it's easier to read. So if you can, you could say something like, if you can quantify it, you could put in something like improved efficiency by something percent, or increased, reduced project time by weeks. You get the idea. If you can quantify it, the better. Now, what you want to do here is, this is your latest position. So the latest at the very top. Once you've done that, simply copy all of this, and you want to paste it. This would be the position before that. And you could do this multiple times, but depending on how many positions you have. I probably wouldn't recommend any more than 3 positions. And you do want to keep this, all of this information as kind of tailored towards the position you're applying for as possible. Okay, so think about the position you're applying for, and think about some of the things they may want to see. So as an example, if we went back to LinkedIn, so this is all about, here we go. They want some presentation skills. They want confidence in engaging with internal and external stakeholders. So here you could say something like providing weekly status reports to the client on that kind of thing. So go back to the job posting and update this as you can. Next, you want an area on certifications. So we're going to Control C. Now, bear in mind, I've mentioned about the importance of keeping everything on one page or 1 or 2 pages. We can do that shortly. We'll kind of update this shortly to get to where we need. So next, we're going to have certifications. Sorry if I'm a bit all over the place. It's quite hard to type and kind of discuss the kind of key information here at the same time. I'm actually going to make this shorter. So this is what I mean by kind of altering the formatting to make sure it all fits on one page. You do things like this. You make text smaller. This we probably would want bigger, and make it consistent. So that's 11 as an example. This should be 11 as well. And that's another thing I'd recommend. Keep everything really consistent. So all headings the same size, all text the same size, obviously all the same font as I've kind of discussed, and things like that. And you can also do things like this. So if I select all this, we can also change the margin. So, and you can make it smaller than 1 as well. And that just gives you extra space. So now we need a bit on certifications. Here I would do a simple bullet point list, and I would say basically what we've done. Or what we have, sorry. So as an example, if you've got any project management qualifications, they need to go here, and make it really, really clear. So as an example, I'm just going to put 1 in for now. Certified Project Management Professional, the PMP. We've obtained this. And one thing I would recommend that you do, and then put so in this example, it would be the Project Management Institute. You want to put in the kind of organisation behind that qualification as well. And I'd probably recommend putting that in italics. Now, when it comes to this, I wouldn't recommend putting in the year that you studied it, because I don't think that that's particularly beneficial unless perhaps you've only just become certified. If you've done this 10 years ago, it just sounds like your certification's a bit dated. So don't put any... I'd suggest that you don't put any kind of years in here unless they're really, really recent and it kind of looks like a benefit. So that's the certification section. Put all of them in here. Again, you could put, say, your say Prince 2 here, or any other certification you have that could be relevant. It could be you got a certification in a particular project management methodology, project management tool, or maybe, so as an example, I work a lot in Smartsheet. I'm certified in Smartsheet. I did the kind of online training course for that. You could put that in here, but make sure it's relevant to the job you're applying for. So we've got certifications, then we've got education. So here, I've done that again. I keep doing that. So if we go back, space there, it keeps the formatting. So in the education, you just need to put any kind of degree that you have. So put your kind of university in here, or college, I should say, perhaps. You then want to put your degree or grade. So as an example, this would be for me, it's kind of University of Sussex, but for you, it could be something like, I don't know, the big US universities, colleges. It could be something like Dartmouth. I don't know how good that is, but that kind of thing. Put the university name in here, college name, degree and grade, what you got, and then you want to perhaps put any other achievements that you had. So maybe you were the head of a council, the head of an organisation there. I'd put those in at this juncture. And then you could put the kind of city that university's in, the state, and the years that you were there. Now, finally, and you don't have to do this, but bear in mind you do not have to do this, but you could, and I would recommend that you put in an area at the bottom, and I've gone on to two pages here. I want to try and get it onto one in a minute, but that's why it's put this up here, because it's a header. You could put in a hobbies and interests section, and I think that's useful for a couple of different reasons. One, it gives you the ability to, if we go back to this, show that you are aligned with the company's overall message and that kind of thing, but it also enables you to put in some extra keywords. So as an example, an outdoors and sports enthusiast who is passionate about, and then put your sport in as an example. And then here's the good bit. Consistently seeks to engage in challenging sports or demanding activities, that kind of thing, to improve fitness and resilience. And this is what the subliminal message here is. You work hard and you understand what's involved with hard work. And if you're a resilient individual, if you take that into your role and position, then that's only going to do you well and do the organisation well. So that's what you want to do here. You want to kind of adapt your hobbies and interests to show what kind of benefits that will bring to the organisation. They don't care that you like perhaps football or cycling, but what they do care is that you take pride in yourself, you look after yourself, and you're dedicated to hard work. So use that here as far as you can. So think about how your interests could benefit their organisation. That is how to write a project manager resume, and this is a kind of project management template. This is kind of perfected. I spent a lot of time updating this. This is what I'd recommend that you kind of use. As I've said at the start of this video, this is available for download. Click the link in the description below. I hope this video was useful. If it was, please do hit the like button and do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. If you head over to my channel, I've got a lot of different content on creating different project management artifacts, whether it's a template or a resume like this, or it's something like you need in your day-to-day role, like a project plan or a risk register, those kind of things. So I do suggest you check that out. And with all of that said, I hope you have an excellent day, and I wish you the very best in your search for a new project management position, and hopefully getting that job that you've always dreamed of.